forgive me if I forget the name of the subscriber who sent this story to me or made me aware of this story right here. But anyway, thank you for sending it to me, because I don't think I've done a video like this one before. I mean, I've talked about the subject matter, but this one is very interesting. It's one of those I feel nothing videos, so you already know which direction it's headed. In this picture, you see a man by the name of James Hughes Jr. And he was an Ohio police chief. I say was as in past tense, because this man died from a fentanyl overdose. Now, we all know that that's not uncommon, and it's in Ohio, the hub for heroin and opioids. But what makes this story very interesting, unlike ones I've done before, is how he got the drugs. Now, this man did not get these drugs from a dealer or anything like that. These drugs were actually in the department that he worked at. How did they get there? Well, they were confiscated off of somebody they most likely bought in and put in an evidence lockup. This guy, being the police chief, had access to that evidence lockup. And he went in there and actually got high on the stash that wasn't supposed to be touched. And he died by doing it. Now, fuckery for him, I don't know what is. But let's get into this article. An Ohio police chief who died of a fentanyl overdose allegedly took the drugs from his department's evidence room. Kirkersville Police Chief James Hughes Jr., age 35, was found unresponsive in the bathroom of his Reynoldsburg home on May 25th. He was pronounced dead a short time later. Reynoldsburg Police Department Lieutenant Ron Wright said the department is still investigating, but evidence shows the drugs were possibly evidence in other cases. Wright said it appears Hughes took the drugs himself from the evidence room. There was packaging that indicated that he was taking controlled substances from there. An autopsy was conducted by the Franklin County Coroner's Office, and results released on July 13th indicated Hughes died of an acute intoxication of fentanyl. Records from the coroner's office indicate 2 syringes were recovered and tested for presence of substances which may have contributed to Hughes' death. One syringe had no drugs in it, the other was positive for fentanyl. A plastic sandwich bag found at the scene tested positive for cocaine, and a third syringe containing a liquid was determined to be positive for fentanyl. Hughes was named police chief on March 13th during a 2-minute special village council meeting. His hiring came less than a week after the prior chief, Jeff Finley, had unexpectedly resigned, citing irreconcilable differences with Kirkersville Mayor Terry Ashcraft. Prior to Hughes' death, the village had been planning to increase his weekly schedule from 20 hours to 32 hours. He was making $14 an hour at the time of his death. Hughes' checkered history was discovered by the Advocate after his hiring in Kirkersville. The mayor and village council members were reluctant or declined to answer any questions about that history, which included a misdemeanor conviction in Whitehall for disorderly conduct for a 2013 incident at a fast food restaurant drive-thru in which Hughes used a racial slur. So this man has a history. But this shows you right here that these departments will hire just about anybody. So this man is not only a racist, but he was also a drug addict. Well, he's dead now, so I guess that's just nature's way of taking its course. The village has not yet named a replacement for Hughes. In June, the village council agreed to provide Hughes' family with a $1,500 to help to cover the cost of his funeral. The council was scheduled to meet Wednesday evening. If the drugs were taken from the property room, no one sold the drugs to Hughes, and therefore there is no one for Reynoldsburg police to charge in Hughes' death. Wright said when the Reynoldsburg department closes the case within the next 2 weeks, he plans to contact the Ohio Attorney General office. The fact they even said that means that they were hoping that he got them drugs from somebody else so they could have someone else to charge. It's kind of gone beyond our level. You're talking about another agency's property room. We think the state should probably intervene. If the Attorney General's office takes the case, Wright said he believes a state-level investigator will be assigned to examine the practices and procedures of the Kirkersville Police Department. Makes you wonder what else they'll find by doing this. This man opened a can of worms from the grave. Wright said he is not an evidence room expert, but there are proper procedures to use when maintaining an evidence room. There appear to be some practices happening out there that probably someone from the state's AG's office should probably look into. Wright said the case shows no one is immune from the heroin epidemic that is impacting so much of Ohio and other parts of the country. It's happening at all different levels and walks of life. Well, it's happening to mostly their walks of life, if you want to be technical. Well, this was a very interesting read. Learned a little bit more about this addict than I care to admit. And like I said at the beginning, this is an I Feel Nothing story, but you can see why it was an interesting twist, because he died from the stash that he stole. Now, I wonder, if he was alive and survived his overdose, how would they have dealt with him? Because technically that's a crime. And that should definitely lead him, or should have led him to being fired. But, you know, they could throw all of that out the window because he's dead. Y'all let me know what you think about this story down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. The links to the PayPal and Patreon are down below. I will talk to you in the next one.